Welcome, welcome. Now, this is going to really be an interesting one, but we are glad that you're joining us from whichever part of the world where you are right now, and glad to have
Mr. Sabiti here. Yes, I'm happy to be here. I appreciate.
Back on set.
I don't like cameras, but I'm here anyway.
Yeah, you don't like cameras. We'll pull you out by force. But I really felt the need for us to have this conversation because so many people have been asking. Let me just give it a little bit of a background because so many people have been asking about specifically romantic relationships and specifically about letting go, about as in when do I know that it is time to actually let it go. I know that we have done this episode before.
Yes,
it was actually a masterclass, and that was before Ariella was was born.
True,
so it's been that long, but it has been cropping up in the recent past. So many couples wanting to throw in a towel even on situations that were reconcilable and things that they could be able to amend.
I don't think there's anyone in this world that can master that situation.
Yeah.
It's like it keeps happening.
Yeah.
And we keep giving ourselves hope that something will work out, even when we know it's not going to work out.
Yes.
We keep believing that maybe. And I think it's just humanity.
There's
no one who's mastered how.
And I think God gave us unending hope. Like we usually have that hope.
Yes,
we hold on to that hope.
Yes.
That something must work, especially if we really loved it and if we really wanted it. We feel like letting it go is like letting ourselves go, letting ourselves down. So, but today I felt the need for us to talk about the necessary endings and the changing of seasons.
Yeah.
Because some seasons must end in order for other seasons to
just
start.
Like 2023 ended and we're in 2024.
Exactly.
Just like you're reading a book and the chapter ends, you go to the next.
You flip to the next one.
Yeah, so it happens that you've outgrown a certain phase,
yes,
and you're due for another, or it's a dimension and you've done so well, okay, and God wants to promote you, but promotion does not come a painted promotion. Sometimes it comes dirty and wrapped in dung that you can't see the good in it. So while God is closing a door and is opening a window somewhere, you still stay stuck to the closed door because that's what you know anyway, and you expected that. I had my goals, I had my plans.
For the rest of my life.
I had my vision laid out for this. So who are you to tell me that I'm due for a promotion? So
I don't want it because I'm uncertain what is contained.
Yes.
Whether I will love it or I will not love it. That is where we resort most of the times to the comfort zone. That even when it's not comfortable, but it is familiar.
True.
So if it is familiar, I want to hold on for my dear life. And I think there are so many steps or things that we need to outgrow or seasons that must close. But because we have seen other people go through, like going through school, that you must end primary to get into secondary and end secondary to get into college. So some of those things are easy because our emotions are not involved.
That's true.
But when anything has emotions at the core of it.
Yes.
And most relationships, not just romantic relationships, yes, but partnerships, business partnerships. That yes, it's business, but we have emotions involved in this, that you are the one that I am working with. How dare you?
The children of Israel had a life in Egypt.
Yep.
Much as they were slaves, they had learnt their way to live as slaves in Egypt.
Yeah.
But God had a plan for them. The plan was a promised land. But they had to go through a series to get to the promised land. And the series were not very comfortable. But one thing that happens is that God does not show them what they have to go through to get to the promised land.
Yep.
But it starts on a journey called the promised land. But the thing here is, there are some who left Egypt, okay, but with the heart still in Egypt.
So many.
Because Egypt was familiar.
Yeah.
Okay, and you hear them grumbling when they're in the wilderness and feeling
what were they grumbling about? Because it just feels like it was very petty that you're grumbling about onions.
Yes.
You're grumbling about watermelon.
Yes.
And because that is familiar. It wasn't enough. You were not even maybe eating some of those things. They were for the Egyptians because they used to do bricks. They used to be beaten. They used to kill their children. Like a lot of bad was happening. But the best they could cry about were onions.
I use that example to show you that someone in a relationship is not necessarily comfortable.
Yeah.
But they have gotten used to a certain way
in some toxic
and they have
relationships.
mastered certain routines.
Yeah.
That yes, I have this guy that I call my guy, my fiancé, my boyfriend, whatever names that you call them, is toxic. But again, he pays my rent.
Yeah.
He's toxic, but once in a while, he's a nice guy who will take me out and will call me honey.
Yeah.
So we get used to certain situations and we choose to settle. Much as they're not the best, but we feel like better off here with what I know than what I don't know.
Than a place I don't understand.
A place I don't know. So you find most couples settling for less simply because they don't know what happens out there. And then that these stories that are going on with their friends.
Yeah.
And of course, what are they discussing? They're discussing about every discomfort in their relationship. I was having a discussion when I don't remember with someone who was saying that many people are running into marriage, but while others are running out of marriage. As in, a single guy somewhere longs to be married, while a married guy somewhere feels is in prison, he wants out. Okay? And so this person was asking, now what do we do? You know, seems like you guys in there are not having fun, are not exactly having fun.
And we want none of that.
And we not, exactly. You know, so it's like, I don't know what happens in there, but why don't try? I'm better off where I am.
Let me
right
stay
now.
at the verge, at the fence.
Because, well, I'm used to the fact that no one has committed to me. I don't have an engagement ring, but I am a free bird. I can be anywhere, anytime.
Yeah.
I feel like
you're
in prison, and you've somehow painted your prison, and you've settled for that prison. And yes, you are there and you're tolerating life. You're there and you're keeping up. You're just surviving really. So there's so many people who are in that place, not because they are comfortable, but simply because they have learned their way around and they're there.
And that's exactly where I want us to be able to start, because people should be able to have clear indications about the end of a season. Because the end of a season has indications. Yeah. The end of an era, the end of a relationship has indications. And when you talked about you being on the tiptoes, yes, you are used to the comfort, and but the comfort is not comfortable. You are on your tiptoes. Clearly, you are at the edge. You're living on the edge. You ask yourself, should I send this message or not? Should I ask to be taken out or not? Should I, as you have to second guess yourself every time you have to talk to this person, whether it's a lady, whether it's a man, you're a lady and you're talking to the man, or the man you're talking to a lady, you are on tenterhooks. You are not so sure what the response is going to be or what the reaction is going to be. I think there is something that needs to be done, because some ends of errors can be turned around by correction.
That's true.
When someone is willing to correct what someone else is complaining about. Sure. You're complaining about, there is no certainty. I don't feel loved. And then someone, but now that is your own issue. How do you want me to love me? Those are excuses. That is not someone who is willing to correct. But when someone is willing to correct, they're willing to look at the problem as is, and they're willing to take responsibility, and they're willing to change it so that you can be able to thrive in this relationship. But I feel so many people are on tenterhooks, just like you say.
I've been in both extremes. At least I've had the advantage to have lived both lives or both extremes.
Yeah.
I've been in a situation where I must terminate a relationship.
Yeah.
I've also been in a place where I have to tolerate it in hope that it will work.
Yeah.
I will tell you from experience. Whatever you tolerate, you just only postpone your pain and wait for it to grow bigger, okay, and harvest it when it's
big and
pressed
ripe
down and shaken together and running over and overflowing. Okay, so sometimes the strength you need is to read the signs and take action.
Yeah,
read the signs, take action, and leave no regrets. Everyone that I've interacted with, as I said, I've been in both extremes. But then, even the people that I've interacted with, they will tell you, I wish I knew I would have ended this relationship when I saw the first 2-3 signs. But I did not. And guess what happened? I ended up with an engagement ring, I ended up with a wedding ring, and now I've ended up with a divorce.
Wow.
You get the point?
They prolonged their own pain.
And then the divorce does not come alone. There are children involved.
Yeah.
You understand? You've
many stakeholders.
You've extended your pain to another generation of children
Yeah.
who are going to grow up with fatherless.
Yes.
Without a father active.
Because you could not
Without
make a
both
decision.
parents. Why? Because you couldn't make a decision. So when you must make a decision, make the decision and don't look behind.
Yeah.
I'm speaking from experience. Make the decision, don't look behind. Even in a business, by the way. In business, I've also been there where you can tell that I have the wrong partner.
Yeah.
But because there's something nice that he does, you keep tolerating them.
And enabling their behaviors.
Yes.
Because when you tolerate...
It's until it's overflowing, as I said.
Yeah.
Then, at the point when you have to break, you break badly. Okay? And there's this weight that's coming down on you because of so many people that were depending on you, families that were depending on you, a lot that you've built together that has to crumble. Simply
that
because at the point when you were supposed to make the decision, you did not.
Yeah.
So when you read the signs, muscle up, make the decision. Because some decisions must be made then, must be made at that point, not later. Make the decision. Face the consequences while the consequences are not as heavy. If you must tolerate it and keep it, wait when it's heavy. You will harvest it. And you'll feel the weight. You will go to court over stupid things.
Yeah.
You understand? You know, when someone has to drag you all over Kampala, you'll make news on all social media handles and every fool who can buy.
Because you fed it.
Exactly.
You let it grow.
You'll be insulted by everyone. You'll be made a fool by everyone.
Yeah.
Why? Because you tolerated it.
Yeah.
You knew it, that it wouldn't. Let me tell
me
tell you this, Hilda. God has designed a human being with quite very unique senses. You will tell that it will not work.
Yeah.
No one should lie to you. You will tell that this relationship is ending nowhere. You will know that you are in a wrong romantic relationship. You will know that you're in a wrong business relationship. You will know. You will see it. But you just tolerate it. Now, the reason that's why you're tolerating is because of the benefits that come with it. And those benefits...
The few.
Yes, they're just short term.
They're breadcrumbs.
They're short term. You understand? Please, don't trade your long term for the short term benefits.
Yeah. That's very true. Very true. And so what I hear you say is there's a lot more draining factors in a relationship that is never meant to work than energizing you. Exactly. Because I feel like a relationship is supposed to energize, it's supposed to make you enthusiastic. You must be looking forward to actually meeting, whether it's a business partner, whether it's a romantic partner, whether it's a friend. Yeah. You must be able to look forward, to yearn, to be with them. But if all you feel is you are drained, then there's something wrong. There's something that either needs to be corrected or you need to actually let it go.
That's true. Absolutely. And then I never take for granted, I think again it's because of experience. I never take for granted the fact that pray about your next partner. Wow. Pray about your next relationship. Pray about whom you're partnering with, because partnerships are meant to stay long. God is the master of relationships and partnerships.
Yes.
And he values relationships and partnerships.
So
now, if we go to him, God will show us what we need to know about our next partner, about our next relationship. I pray about my businesses. Yeah. Even when I want to try a business, I pray. I seek his guidance. I go to him. Well, I do everything else that I need to do to know about the business or about the relationship or whatever that I need to do. But then I go ahead and even pray, because spiritually then my heart is open to things that are not necessarily manifested yet in the physical. And when I get to plunge deep into the spiritual and God opens my spiritual man to see the things that are yet to be, then I make the decision with knowledge and with a smile, by the way. Yeah. You know, it's easy to end a certain relationship than one that has promises.
I know.
You know, when you are buying yourself, okay, like when you're getting into a relationship, there's a lot of work that you do, man. You have to make sure that you convince the other person to believe. It's from the way you dress, just like I'm so smart today.
You had to say that.
Oh yeah, I had to. So you know, you have the right smell, the right perfume, you have the right dressing, you have the right
you feel
everything.
right.
And then your wallet as well is good, and is, you know, when you take this person out to dinner, you speak with a lot of confidence. All that you're doing is buying yourself into this relationship, giving your partner confidence to believe that you're the right partner.
And hope,
all that is work, by the way.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, the other person is receiving every signal
that you're sending.
And every signal is received. And let me tell you something interesting about women. You send one signal, she receives 10.
1,000, not even
And then
10.
when she receives
we go ahead.
Oh, she
read
she
into
will
the
start
whole
dreaming
situation.
when she's in your home, carrying your children.
I know.
You know, when she's in hospital giving birth.
That's what we do.
On the first
and we expect flowers.
And she will
You're creating all the scenarios.
Yes.
And how
by
they
sending
should look like.
one signal, you came on point, looking so good. You understand, dressed to the point,
you took
smelling
the bill,
good,
yeah.
you paid the bill, you gave her every confidence.
And all that she potential.
All that she needs to trust you, have the confidence in you, and to believe that you're the right guy.
And you open your heart.
And all of a sudden,
things slip.
So from the word go, it's wisdom.
Yeah.
And wisdom from God.
To pray.
That you don't even have to take her
to discern. Wow.
Yeah.
And I think one of the reasons as to why you should be able to even to discern when to let go, I think God gives you that discernment.
Yeah.
That before you start, he can give you the discernment to not start it.
Yeah.
But if you go ahead and start it, he will give you the discernment to know that the next step is not bearable. It's better you actually discern.
Now, one of the things
now.
that happens is it creates discomfort.
Yeah.
And there are delays that cannot be explained and understood.
I wanted you to hint on that because so many people will ask, how does God communicate? When you go to prayer, how do you know that it's time to let go? And I'm so glad that you're elaborating.
Okay, now let me try too. One of the things that happens is the passionate you, the you that was all in and anticipating and so given in and all out starts to die out.
Yeah.
And then this what happens. All of a sudden you have a date and probably you've planned to have dinner together and you can't go because you have a flu.
You don't feel like it.
Yeah, you say, I have a
You're
cold.
not in the mood.
I have a cold. I don't think I'll be able to make it. Those are some of the signs to show that you are
like
actually
you're
withdrawing.
Yes.
You are withdrawing, but you don't know that you're withdrawing. She sends you a text. You green tick it.
So it's like God has disengaged your heart.
Yes,
from
exactly,
this relationship.
exactly. But you can't even pick up the phone to say hi, honey.
Yeah.
You know, and then when it's her birthday, before you rush to every shop looking for the perfect gift, and this time you forget.
You forget about the birthday
altogether, and even to send a message.
Not even to send a message.
Those are all signals. Everything is aligning to show you that your heart has withdrawn, and
it's time to.
And it's time to. And then the other person, all that they are reading is the same.
Yeah.
You are withdrawing, but they don't know how to call it, and they're still holding on to hope.
Sometimes
why? Because
fight twice as hard.
You gave them false hope.
Yeah.
Okay. You got them. You got them hooked. You got them into it, and so they still hope that probably every reason you're giving is true. You actually have a cold. That's why you can't come for that dinner date. You forgot
because they don't want their hearts to break.
You forgot. Yes, you forgot to send that birthday gift, that birthday message or whatever, because you were so busy of work with your work.
They want to believe that.
And then it's been a month and you've not visited or whatever. You know, when she says, can I come and check on you? You're not available. You all of a sudden
have a work thing.
Create a work trip that you're away.
Or you have to see your mother.
Yes. all those are signals. It's communication, and the communication should be read right, but the other person can't because you are giving them reasons to think you're still in, but you're out.
Yeah.
And then to you,
which
the reason as to why you feel the way you feel is because
God is cutting you off it. Yeah. And there is a certain lady that...
So the boldness that you need is to cut it. But you don't have it simply because you have not yet understood that you're withdrawing.
Yeah, and that reminds me, there's a certain lady that was on my narcissistic recovery program, and she told me that I prayed to God specifically, and I told God, I know that I feel this is the end of this marriage, but I don't want to leave this marriage without being chased out of this marriage. I need that man to chase me out of the marriage, because the man had been telling her, go, I don't want you, I don't want to see you, pack your things and go, in the past. But you know, there are women who are being chased out of homes and they don't have the guts to pack. Yeah. They're like, you know what? No, that is what he says. He has said it for the past 10 years, but we are still together. Now, this time she specifically prayed and said the next time he gets that out of his mouth, I will pack and go. And indeed, after 2 days, the gentleman came back and mentioned the words and said that, you know what? pack up, I am tired of you, I don't know why I married you, I loathe you, I don't like you, I don't love you, and I have never loved you. Walk away. She had already packed her bags. So she got the bags, left, and the man was in disbelief because he thought she was going to behave the same way he used to behave back then. So I have a feeling that sometimes even when we pray to God, he will make the other person worse so that he can be able to create a path for you to walk away.
That's true. Then going back to what I was saying, if you're the kind who is in that space where you have all the withdrawal symptoms and you don't understand why you're heavy, your heart is heavy, your heart is slow, you don't seem to be the same guy that you were about
excitement.
6 months. You're not excited about the relationship.
Yeah.
The other person, the other end, because now we are talking to two people. There's the other person who's receiving the signals and there's one who's sending.
Yes.
Now the person who's receiving, this is my prayer for you. Any person who is in a relationship. Now, Hilda, this is not about marriage. Now I'm talking about relationships.
Relationships, yes.
Relationship. You're the other side, and you've probably seen these signs. If I were you, I would go on my knees and I pray that God, if this guy is not meant to be, make his heart even more heavy.
Exactly.
That he may walk away.
That's a nice tip. But you have to be willing to lose it. You have to be willing to lose it.
No.
To even make that prayer, you have to get to the place of sobering up.
The other person receiving the signals, I repeat.
Yeah.
When you start seeing these signals
of withdrawal,
don't try to speak or think for him or think for her.
Yeah.
But be courageous enough to pray if you're a Christian and tell God, if what I'm seeing is right, if what I'm observing is right, if it's changing, and God, you know it, that is not meant to be. Make his heart even more heavy. Yeah. Let him walk away.
Let him walk away. Painfully.
Now, when you make that prayer, this is what happens. God frees your heart.
Yeah.
So there is no expectation left because you've made the prayer. Wow. You know, what kills us are the expectations we build in a relationship. When we keep building these expectations, it's these expectations that weigh us down. It is these expectations that eventually kill us. It is these expectations that make us cry, that stress us. Why? Because you've built them over time. Now, when you get to a place where you're willing to drop all those expectations,
oh, the magic begins.
Then you freed yourself. It's just like you've gotten the key and untied and unchained yourself. The chains are broken. All of a sudden, you are free to live again. It's chains. Expectations are a certain form of chains.
Exactly. They hold us back.
Exactly.
And sometimes unrealistic. Very unrealistic.
Yes, it's expectations that hold us. They are like chains. You know, when someone gives you expectations, you will sit in one place and wait with a lot of hope.
Yeah.
He has not physically chained you to the chair.
And frustration
but
keeps
because
growing.
He has built expectations, you hope he will come back. Now, when he does not come back, what kills you is the expectations that were built in you to stay there and wait.
And I want us to talk to the person that has totally done the opposite of what you have said. People are making witchcraft prayers. People are claiming people's hearts. They're like, I want him to see only me, or I want her to do this. So many people have been coming to me. What can I do in order to win her back? What can I do? So they are working triple or double or quadruple as hard as they should have worked. They are auditioning. Some of them are starting to cook. Some of them are starting to wash. Some of them are saying, are giving into sex. They are thinking that, by the way, the more I do these things, maybe the more the person is actually going to do something about it.
In most cases, such people end up in a depression.
Yeah.
Because the more you try to hold on to something that is running, the more it runs. It's like if you're trying to chase me, okay, I double my efforts in running.
I know, because I don't want you to catch up.
Because it's already a chase.
Yeah.
So if you're chasing, I should run faster. Now, the more I run faster, the more you chase. So what happens?
You never get
overdrained. Okay, suicidal. You end up in a depression. You end up in a worse place.
You can lose your job.
Everything.
You can lose everything.
Everything. Because now, what you're trying to do is catch me or force me.
And yet I don't want.
And yet I've showed you I don't want. I am running away.
I love the fact that we've been able to hint on prayer and being one of the ways that we're going to take away the unnecessary prayer when it comes to these necessary endings. I call them necessary endings, and we call them necessary endings on this segment because not everyone that comes into your life that you're supposed to live a lifetime with them. Some of them are going to come for seasons, and just like we opened up, we said that seasons change and some seasons must end in order for other seasons to start. Okay, and we say that years end so that other years can start, months end so that other months can start. And so the frustration comes when you hold on for dear life, and just like Tim has just talked about, the unrealistic expectations that we have, that manually, humanly speaking, we can be able to change the other person, which is not possible. We can be able to cause them to love us. We can do more. We can somersault in bed. We can cook more. We can do all those things. It's very impossible. A human heart, just like Tim talked about, it's a machine that was perfectly created by God. You can design that this is the end of this season. This is the end of this relationship. And we hope that you're not holding on, till till you are frustrated and a lot of depression. And that is where we want to be able to let you know that you can be able to get in touch with us. The numbers, social media, tell us what you feel. I will love to hear your feedback and would love to answer some of the questions as we take this break.